Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Noah. I'm everywhere. I'm randomly unknown. And today we will be reading the first two chapters of middle school, the worst years of my life, which is pretty much true. Duh. Anyways, without further ado, let's go. So let's get to chapter 1. Chapter 1. I'm Raph, Macedonian tragic hero. I'm just gonna say R-A-F-E-S, Raph, for fun. It feels as honest as the day is coming that I begin this tale of total desperation and woe with me, my pukey sister, Georgia, and Leonardo decided sitting like rotten sardines in the back of a Hills Village Police Department cruiser. Page 2. Now there's a pathetic family portrait you don't want to be part of, believe me. More on the unfortunate village police incident later. I need to work myself up to tell you that disaster story. So, anyways, ta-da! Here it is. Book fans, all of you in need of AR points at school, the true autobio of my life so far, the dreaded middle school years. If you've ever been a middle schooler, you understand already. I understand already. If you're not in middle school yet, you'll understand soon enough. But let's face it, understanding me, I mean really understanding me, and my nutty life isn't so easy. That's why it's so hard for me to find people I can trust. The truth is, I don't know who I can trust. So mostly I don't trust anybody, except my mom, Jules. Most of the time, anyways. So let's see if I can trust you. First, some background. That's me, by the way, arriving at prison, also known as Hills Village Middle School in Jules, SUV. The picture credit goes to Leonardo the Silent. Getting back to the story though, I do trust one person. That would actually be Leonardo. So at this page there's a school bus spitting out kids. And he's over here, as you can already tell, looking all stylish, I guess. Leo is capital C crazy and capital O off the wall, but he keeps things real. Here are some other people I don't trust as far as I can throw a truckload of pianos. There's Mrs. Ruthless Donatello, but you can just call her the Dragon Lady. She teaches English and also handles my favorite subject in 6th grade, after school detention. Dun dun dun! I have to say that's a pretty good dragon drawing. Come on. Also, Mrs. Ida Sticker, the vice principal. Ida's pretty much in charge of every breath anyone takes at HBMS. That looks like a pretty good goblin, I have to say. That's Georgia, my super noisy, super obnoxious, super brat sister, whose only good quality is that she looks like Jules might have looked when she was in 4th grade. There are more on my list, and we'll get to them eventually, or maybe not. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work out. As you can probably tell, this is my first full-length book, but let's stay on the subject for a little bit. I kind of want to, but how do I know I can trust you? With all my embarrassing personal stuff, like the police car disaster story, what are you like inside? What are you like? Are you basically a pretty good, pretty decent person? Says who? Says you? Says your aunts? Says your sibs? Okay, in the spirit of possible friendship between us, and this is a huge big deal for me, here's another true confession. This is what I actually looked when I got to school that first morning of 6th grade. We still friends, or are you out of here? Hey, don't go, alright? I kinda like you, seriously. You know how to listen, at least, and believe me, I've got quite a story to tell you. Here's him in 6th grade, I guess. The middle school / max security prison. Chapter 2. Okay, so imagine the day your great-great-grandmother was born. Got it? Now go back another 100 years or so, and then another 100. That's about when they built Hills Village Middle School. Of course, I think it was a prison for pilgrims back then, but not too much has changed. Now it's a prison for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Zach. I've seen enough movies that I know when you first get to prison, you basically have two choices. 1, pound the living daylights out of someone so that everyone else will think you're insane and stay out of your way. Or 2, keep your head down, try to blend in, and don't get on anyone's bad side. You've already seen what I look like, so you can probably guess which one I chose. As soon as I got to homeroom, I went straight for the back row and sat as far as the teacher's desk as possible. There was just one problem with that, and his name was Miller. Miller the Killer. To be exact, it's impossible to stay off this kid's backside because it's the only one he's got. But I didn't know any of that yet. Sitting in the back, huh? He said, yeah, I told him. Are you one of those troublemakers or something? He said, I just shrugged. I don't know, not really. Because this is where all the Juvies sit, he said, and took a step closer. In fact, you're in my seat. I don't see your name on it, I told him, and I was just starting to think maybe that was the wrong thing to say when Miller put one of his XXXL paws around my neck and started lifting me like a 100-pound dumbbell. Question: what do we have here? Answer: dead meat. Okay, that's an interesting question. I usually like to keep my head attached to my body, so I went ahead and stood up like he wanted me to. Let's try that again, he said. This is my seat, understand? I understood all right. I'd been in 6th grade for about 4.5 minutes, and I already had a fluorescent orange target on my back. So much for blending in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a total wimp. Give me a few more chapters and I'll show you what I'm capable of. In the meantime, though, I decided to move to some other part of the room, like maybe somewhere a little less hazardous to my health. But then when I went to sit down again, Miller called over. He said, that one's mine too. Can you see where this is going? By the time our homeroom teacher, Mr. Rook, rolled in, I was just standing there wondering what it might be like to spend the next 9 months without sitting down. Rook looked over the top of his glasses at me. Excuse me, Mr. Natch. Catch a Dorian, I told him. Gessun hate, someone shouted, and the entire class started laughing. Quiet, Mr. Rook snapped as he checked his attendance book for my name. And how are you doing? And how are you today, Raph? He said, smiling like there were cookies on the way. Fine, thanks, I answered. Do you find our seat thing uncomfortable? He asked. Not exactly, I said, because I couldn't really go into detail. Then sit down. Now! Unlike Miller the Killer, Mr. Rock definitely had two sides, and I'd already met both of them. First side, good side. Open your books to page 80 and bad side. Quiet! Okay, since nobody else was stupid enough to sit right in front of Miller, that was the only seat left in the room. And because I'm the world's biggest idiot sometimes, I didn't look back when I went to sit in my chair, which is why I hit the dirt as I went down, all the way down to the floor. The good news, given the way I had started off, I figured middle school could only get better from here. The bad news? I was wrong about the good news. So guys, I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next chapters. Riddle You Later's Puzzle Creators. Bye guys!